That took a while, but finally I got the damn thing, the damn computer working. It's now finally working properly, well, as properly as it can, and I can finally start recording my thoughts on Ubisoft's press conference. And I got about half an hour to do so before Sony's press conference starts. So let's go. They started things off with the Mario crossover between the Rabbids characters that they have and Mario in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. What was interesting was that in order to promote this game, they brought in a special guest. Well, two actually, but only one of them was really the one that they care about. Shigeru Miyamoto. He came onto it, talked about the game, tried to sell it to people. Then they showed off the game, and it's a weird kind of game. It looks a bit odd, but in terms of actual gameplay, it looked okay. It looked like some sort of Fire Emblem style kind of game, or as a lot of people pointed out, that it was pretty much Mario XCOM. I have never played either of those games. I played a little bit of Advanced Wars, but that's about it when it comes to those kinds of games. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say other than it looks okay, surprisingly. So, hey, I'm not gonna play it because that's not my kind of game. But hey, at least it caught some people's attention, and it looks like it could be pretty decent. Then they showed off more trailers for Assassin's Creed Origins. Nah, it's that game again. At least they showed different footage, because I remember one E3 where they basically showed the same trailer over and over and over again. So at least it was different. A small trailer for South Park: The Fractured But Whole. I'm not sure if they announced a release date for it or anything, but it's still going on apparently. They didn't talk about it at all. Then they had a very weird trailer. It was basically, they had Elisha Wood sitting in a boardroom, surrounded by people talking about the evolution of virtual reality, and about test subjects that they had gotten. And it was really flippin' weird. And I have no idea what it is other than it has something to do with virtual reality. It was called Transference. So there's that. I have no idea what it is, and I have no idea why Elisha Wood is working on it, but it's there. Then they announced a pirate game called Skull and Bones. Honestly, this looked pretty decent. It didn't look all that bad. I mean, it basically looked like you were basically playing with the same ship mechanics that you had in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Sorry, I had something in my throat. What was that? Oh yeah, Skull and Bones. It looked pretty decent, and all that. They didn't say anything about what kind of what the game really was about. They showed a little multiplayer segment, and it looked okay, and all that. I'm just wondering, what kind of game are we? What kind of game is this? Is this just a multiplayer ship battle sort of game, or is there some sort of story to it? And they showed that you could board other ships, but they showed that in cutscenes. They didn't really show that you could actually board a ship or something like that, and manually attack. But ugh. Sorry, I was not feeling all that well. Anyway, yeah, I need some more details on this one before I can decide whether or not I actually kind of want to get that. Because For Honor looked actually pretty decent, but then I found out it was a basically a multiplayer only games, and nothing really worthwhile for single player, so it was worthless to me. Ugh. Then they showed off. Then they had had their same old pointless dance numbers that they have every single year with Just Dance 2018. Ubisoft, I really wish you would stop doing that. Look, just you can announce that you have that, but don't drag in a pointless dance number and have some singer that I have no idea who is start talking about the game coming out and all that. I don't need it. Just say, okay, we have. You don't even need to announce it. Just you don't even have to waste time on a press conference for it. Just say we're doing another one. It's coming out next year. Well, then they showed off a South Park phone game called South Park Phone Destroyer. I don't care. Starlinks Battle for Atlas. It's essentially a sorry, the camera froze. It's essentially a spaceship spaceship simulator or spaceship battle simulator or something like that. But it has a very special gimmick. You can create your own ship, and I don't mean in the game. I mean you can build a model and set it on top of a controller, like Skylanders. I really hate those kinds of games. Sorry, I need to go. Ugh. Sorry about that. I don't want to bother editing this. Why not edit all the pauses and all the bullshit that I'm doing? I just want to get this out quickly before Sony starts. So, yeah. Again, I hate those kinds of games because essentially you're buying a game and then you have to pay, and then in order to actually play the game somewhat, well, you have to buy all these figurines and all these parts that you can put together, and it's just annoying. Ugh. I don't have the inclination to buy any of this, so no, I'm not interested. Next we have next they had an expansion pack for their winter sport game called Steep. They have an expansion which was Road to the Olympics, so essentially it's an Olympic version of it. By the way, I noticed that on the scoreboard Norway was at the top. I see the thing a little bit about actual winter sports. Then they showed off another trailer for Far Cry. Then they showed off Far Cry 5 and a little bit of gameplay. It's first person, so I don't really care. And it was very little gameplay, so there wasn't much to go by. And finally, the big one. They announced, after many years of teasing this and talking about this, they finally announced Beyond Good and Evil 2. Sort of. Well, they did announce Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's the official name of the game. The game itself, however, is a prequel. And from what I've heard from fans of the original Beyond Good and Evil, the original ended on a cliffhanger. And yet nothing new has been made. Sorry. Sorry about that. I just took the liberty of brushing my teeth because I'm going to be staying up all night to watch Sony's, and the mouthwash is kind of disagreeing with me today. But anyway, yeah. So it is a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil. It's just not the sequel people wanted. In fact, it's not a sequel, it's a prequel. And the trailer itself, it looked weird. It had a lot of swearing in it, to the point where it actually started to become kind of pretentious. Like, okay, we get it. You can swear a lot. It becomes a bit reductive at that point. I mean, I swear a lot. You know that if you watch my videos, you know that I swear. But I don't say fuck, fucking fuck in every sentence. I do it whenever I'm either pissed off. But no, essentially that's the only time. I only do it when I'm pissed off, and usually it's very, very. It's not very often either. It's once every now and then. It's not that many times that I don't do it as many times as this monkey did it. So it just came off as this swearing for the sake of swearing rather than making a natural dialogue. I didn't like that. So yeah, that's. And that was basically all that. That was basically it. The conference as a whole, though, was very dull. I'm gonna just say that right away. It was really, really dull. Oh, I think I might have skipped a game here, but The Crew 2, which is another racing game. Only this time you also have other vehicles. They spent a long time on it. They had a presenter on the stage that I think a lot of the people at Ubisoft are for the most part not native English speakers or so. But he had such a thick accent that I could barely understand what he was saying half the time. So yeah, not much else. This conference itself was pretty dull and didn't like it. It wasn't as bad as EA. So like EA is just incredibly dull and spends way too much time on games that don't deserve it. And they don't. And just like EA, they didn't show that much gameplay. They showed more. I think they showed a little bit more than EA in terms of variety of gameplay, but. Yeah, that was not a good conference. That was annoying, and ultimately it was bad. But this year it wasn't as bad as EA. So, in a scale of 1 to 10, it gets a solid 3. It was bad, but it wasn't as infuriatingly boring or bad as EA. So that's it. All the conferences so far have been either okay, terrible, or no, not terrible, boring or bad. Sony, you've won the past 2 years. Please, please go for the hat trick.